The next videos I'm going to be uploading is more of a recording of a book that I want to write. I follow my purpose. I get up every day and listen to my inner voice. Don't focus on the problem. I try and focus on the solution at all times. I stopped fighting the system a long time ago because I realized working within the system is like putting a round peg in a square hole. The more I tried to do that, the more I found out I was just killing myself. So for my own survival, I stopped fighting the system and just go with the flow. Listen to my inner voice with love and peace in my heart. And the next stage of what I feel my life purpose is to write a book. And quite a few people have asked me to do so. One of the biggest problems that I have in writing a book is, if anybody looks at any of my writing skills, I suck at writing. I love, love, love it when the spelling police show up and try to correct my spelling or grammar, and it's like, hey, I'm at one with that. I already know that's not my life purpose to write. I'm not a writer. And my intuitive sense means, and it's 11:11 right now as I'm speaking, my intuitive sense says I have a particular skill. Every single person on this planet has a strong purpose and strong skill. But whatever it is that you have to offer, you can't do it alone. That is the round peg in the square hole. Right now, let's say if you got a really good idea, not only do you have to have the really good idea, but you also have to be the accountant. You also have to be the CEO. You also have to be the worker. You also have to know marketing. You also have to be your own lawyer. Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that you have to be a master at, and it's like, that ain't your purpose. Your purpose is solely your purpose. And if we all work together to unfold each other's purposes, then we help each other live our dreams. So, with that said, I'm not the writer. I just have information that I feel would make a good book. There's somebody else that is a master at writing. Somebody else knows how to write. And, this business concept that you got to make out a legal contract, and it's like, no, that ain't the deal. I have made an arrangement with a very good friend that has offered to write this book for me, and the profits, which I'm against, will be shared equally. We both need to eat. We both are doing equal work. I may know the knowledge, but what good is my knowledge and writing a book if I can't write a book? I mean, there is no book unless there's a writer writing it. So the writer is equally as important as the one with the idea, the words to go in that book. And you don't need a legal contract to make you morally recognize the difference between right and wrong. And so there is no legal contract. There is, it's just two friends making a commitment to writing this book out. And there may be quite a few people that say, well, what the hell do I know? And it's like, hey, if you want to listen to the book, there it is. If you don't. Who's to say anybody has a book? Who's to say anybody knows anything more than anybody else? So I'm just like everybody else. It may be crap information, or it might be really interesting information. All I know is there's some damn good information out there that I'd like to put in a book. And as long as everybody would rather me be working than to be on a welfare system, this is my work. So you can't have it both ways. You know, I got to be working at something. Why not work at my purpose, which is what the whole book is about, is information on how everybody can live their life purpose, which will constantly change. Once this is done, there's going to have to be something else that I'm productive at doing. It's not about me writing a book, earning a massive paycheck, and then just relaxing. I'm against high profits. So the success of this book means that any pay that I do receive will just be my equal share. Anything that is to excess will go back into the world. There's a lot of other people that need funding for some really good ideas, and if that means that profits from this book are funneled to other people that have some really good ideas that clean up this friggin' planet, that's where the money would go to. So the success of this book means somebody else is going to be a hell of a lot more successful than me. Hopefully many, many people will be really successful from if this book gets any attention. And the reason I'm putting it on video, the process that's going to happen is because I can't write. It was just I was supposed to record, and they were going to take it and edit it and create the book out of it. And because I'm not interested in profit, I don't want to sell out, I figured if I'm going to record something, why not record it on YouTube for my friends to see free? And those that aren't attached to YouTube, you know, those that go for books, like Oprah, or, you know, people that aren't attached to YouTube but get their information from books, let them buy it. But here we're going to get it free, the unedited version. And then I thought, who's the target audience? How should I start this? And for the most part, those that are on the bottom, those that are suffering, okay, you might need a little bit of information, but frankly, I think you know a hell of a lot more than the ones on the top. If we were to make any changes, you have to really understand what would make the difference. Problem solving from bottom up or top down. We're all looking, you know, those that are on the bottom want those at the top to solve problems. And those on the top, well, they think that they have all of the answers, and I'm just questioning whether they do. I personally think we would make a massive difference if solution unfolded from the bottom up. But the bottom can't afford to buy a book. So it's really a pointless book to write if I'm targeting an audience that can't even afford to buy a book. So I have to target this book for those who can afford it, the ones at the top. So the direction of this book has to be top-down solutions. So that's how I'm going to start this. My whole life has been guided and influenced by some interesting entities. Life is, I mean, everything that you do in your life, you do because of the influences in your life. You're like a tape recorder. You develop a belief system similar to a computer that has a business rule, and you live out your beliefs. Now, you're influenced by religion, you're influenced by parents, you're influenced by your schools, by the books you read, by the songs you listen to. Everything out in your universe is influencing you. So the influences that I had are quite interesting. One of them that is extremely powerful, well, there's two really, really powerful ones. The main one is God. And there's a lot of people that don't believe in God. But from what I'm seeing, when I listen to some of the conversations from those that aren't believing in a God, it's because those that do, that are influenced by a God, seem to be, doing a lot of harm to people. Catholic priests are having sex with kids, and when we know about it, I mean, the whole organization seems to think it's okay. So a lot of people that don't believe in God question whether God exists, if God is this mean and cruel. So I'm suggesting that most people that believe in God don't really know what God is, don't really have a good understanding. God is everything good. God makes you feel good. Actually, the God that influenced my life when I was really, really young, I was dealing with an awful lot of abuse. And I would always ask God for the answers. And a lot of people that are religious think that I'm listening to a really bad God. And usually if you deal with an awful lot of abuse, you tend to listen to a really bad God. I understand that concept. But I happen to believe the God that I listen to would be the real God. But that's up to you to decide. You will see throughout this whole book whether this does sound like a better God to listen to. The God that I listen to would make me laugh during times that one would cry. God has a great sense of humor. God provides a lot of understanding. God provides a lot of answers. Not problems, answers. Mostly through understanding. He doesn't speak that often, but when you really, really, really need him, he does show up. So that was one of my main influences my whole entire life. And then another one was the Beatles. I grew up in the 60s. I was born in 1958. They came out with a song called Hey Jude. I was a kid. It sounded like a song that was singing directly towards me since I was living through hell. And, the message in that song was take a sad song and make it better. To me, in my childlike mind, the message or the influence that had over me was take a problem and make it better. So I ended up living, 52 now, living a life designed to be a master problem solver. We have some really bad problems going on in the world. We kind of need the best problem-solving tools right now. And with God's guidance, I think I have some really, really cool tools to offer a planet in the area of problem solving. So, in this introduction, the target audience is these elites, blue bloods, royalty, presidents, CEOs. Anybody that's got a ton of money right now, this book's for you. And the title of this book is Dying for Dummies. I'll continue on another take.